Hey, Dostie here with Dostie's View, and I apologize for this one being a little bit late. Uh, I went on vacation, and ordinarily for me, vacation would mean a ski trip, but it was started Thanksgiving, and I was gone until early December, and I've learned over the years, especially in the last 3 decades, that Thanksgiving, while it used to be a reliable time to start the ski season, has not been reliable, from my memory, since at least 1988, maybe even 86. So I stopped expecting to be able to ski over Thanksgiving and start the season then. And I know this year actually it was possible, but it was still early season snowpack, meaning thin. And I honestly have no desire to wreck the skis that I love on minimal snowpack. So I made other plans. Went to the beach, Caribbean style. Yeah, it was good. It was good to do something different. Anyway, Josh wanted me to address a burning question. Is Telemark still relevant in 2022? But before I answer that question, let me rewind a little bit. My last episode, I dealt with the importance of Russell Rainey's influence on the telemark world, and his by far his most important contribution was adjustable pivot points on telemark cable bindings. And that he began that with a super loop, but he really amped it up with the hammerhead, and that adjustability continues on with 22 Designs axle and vise, and to a lesser extent, though it's still, there's some adjustability in the links. So those were really great contributions. Thank you, Russell. We're all indebted to you for that, at least for those of us who are using telemark bindings that have adjustable cable pivot points. But there was something else that he did that was that I forgot and overlooked, and that was the wraparound toe plate. What do I mean by the wraparound toe plate? Well, when Russell first introduced the super loop, the third generation super loop actually, which had the front throw with springs in that front throw, he knew that a lot of the telemark bindings at that point in time just had tabs holding the duckbill down, and very few had a full bar across the toe plate. And so Russell thought, well, he was going to put a bar across it, and he was going to do something even better. He was going to weld it. Well, it turns out the welding was very prone to variations in reliability depending upon environmental factors at the time of the weld. What was the humidity, the temperature, all kinds of things. And so I don't know what the percentage was, but it was definitely an unacceptably high percentage of his TIG welded super loop toe plates. The welds broke. So then he adopted what Valet was doing at the time, and G3, and he riveted the tow bar on the toe plate. And he really didn't like that. It was not clean. And with the hammerhead, not only did he come up with adjustable pivots and underfoot cable routing, which he borrowed from the Pitbull, but he developed a toe plate where there were no rivets, no welds. It was a unitary toe plate that wrapped around, and it required some special machining capabilities that he helped develop. And that has become a standard now. That's the way the switchback toe plate is. Bird Mountain Designs adopted that as well. And I'm trying to think who else. Well, those are the key ones, all right? So thank you, Russell, for underfoot cable routing, which you didn't pioneer, but you perfected, and adjustable pivot points, and a unitary wraparound 75 millimeter toe plate. We are indebted to you. Now, the burning question. is Telemark still relevant in 2022? And it's a trick question, kind of. Because the question is 2022. We all know that 2022 has had there's a lot of things going on in the world outside of the ski world that have affected the ski world. And it has, for a lot of folks, it has put the question on the plate of, can we afford to keep skiing? Because prices have increased. And something else that's gone on is with the universal acceptance of multi-area ski passes, the resort experience has changed. And in fact, I reserve the right to change my mind, but I don't think I'm going to, because today is the last day I can change my mind realistically, and I'm not buying a ski pass. I'm sticking to the backcountry. And part of the reason I'm doing that is I don't really feel like I'm getting my money's worth anymore. Yes, it's cheaper, but the reality is the resort experience is now more crowded than ever. And at least in Colorado, we don't get all that much snow at any one time. It just kind of dribbles out. We get 10 centimeters here, 5 centimeters there, and eventually it does build up. But you don't get really deep powder days very often. It's not like it's impossible, but certainly at a resort, it is a very limited experience. And so I just decided, you know what? I paid way too much for a crowded, hardpack skiing experience. And that is not what Telemark is the best at. Telemark is a style of downhill turning that favors powder. In fact, when I first started telemarking, I flailed like everybody does for the first 20 or so days. And what I tended to do was I would start the day on telemark, and when my quads gave out, I'd switch back to locked heel for the remainder of the day. And I did that for about a season and a half, until I could go all day telemark. And I still wasn't fully committed to making telemark my equipment and mode of turning the de facto standard until I did a descent in 2 feet of powder. And after that experience, I was pretty much all telemark all the time. In fact, it's not that I won't lock my heel, but the only time I lock my heel is when I'm working, as in maybe reviewing some alpine gear. But I don't even do that much anymore, because quite honestly, I prefer telemark, period. The beauty of telemark equipment, yes, I can telemark. I can also parallel turn. I can switch between the two. But the main reason I love telemark is because it is, if you will, kind of an adjustable turn. I can make it short and tight, and I can make it long and deep. And it's adjustable on the fly, and it is best appreciated in deep, soft snow. And even if it isn't deep, you at least want it soft. Telemark is not really a hard snow turn. Yes, you can do it, and you can do it well, and you can go fast, and you can telly, and you can run gates, and you can be in the park and all that sort of stuff. That's not why I like telemark. I like telemark for how it amplifies a soft snow experience. And so then the question is telemark still relevant in 2022? Well, it's as relevant as any other downhill discipline in the snow. Probably the bigger question is 2022 relevant to telemark? And with only 3 weeks left in the year, I'd say absolutely not. Who cares about 2022? Good riddance. Let's move on, and let's keep telemarking, because that's how we spread telemark.